Oh man, this transfer window is getting a little bit heated, isn't it? We've got just over 1 day left to go. It is, as I'm recording this, 6:30 in the evening, and tomorrow it is deadline day. So not long left, and I've got to talk about Caicedo. This guy, I mean, 90 million? 90 million pounds for a 21-year-old that joined the Premier League just a few years ago for 5 million. It's truly unbelievable, isn't it? I've covered Arsenal's transfer window. I talked about Trossard. I do it every transfer window. I obviously love to have a focus on Arsenal on this channel, and it's time to talk about this deal, and I'm going to give my honest opinions on it. And then tomorrow, I want to do kind of like a roundup video, talk about all of the deals, and maybe even do like a deadline day stream. I don't know, but let's talk about Caicedo, because, I mean, it's rather incredible what's going on here. I've never seen this before, where you've got a player handing in a transfer request on Instagram. What timeline are we in now? This is incredible. So Caicedo, he's made it very public that he knows that a lot of clubs are after him. Chelsea and Arsenal being the main ones. It does seem like Arsenal are most likely at this point, because Chelsea are going for Enzo, seemingly paying a 120 million euro release clause today. So it kind of leaves just Arsenal publicly, at least. There could be some other clubs chasing him. He has said many things. One of the things that really interested me was this bit here. He goes, I am the youngest of 10 siblings from a poor upbringing in Ecuador. And that, I think what we're seeing here is a player that realizes that financially this is going to change not only his life, but his family's life. I've heard that he's on 15,000 a week at Brighton, which is a lot of money. Let's not get it twisted. 15 grand a week is a lot of money. If he was on 1,000 a week when he's this good, I could understand that. To him, moving to an Arsenal or Chelsea or whatever, that is just absolutely mind-bogglingly crazy. It's a lot of money. But from 15,000 to, I think it's reported 80,000 with Arsenal, that's a number being thrown around. Whilst it's still a huge, huge amount more, it's not like he can't change his family's life on 15 grand a week. Let's just be very clear about that. But I do understand it. A lot of people just throwing around the word loyalty, and it's like, come on, guys. Like, if you really, really think about it, okay, Caicedo was signed for 5 million. I think he went on loan. He's come back. He's done very well for Brighton, okay? They invested 5 million pounds. It's quite a lot of money for a player that might not do anything, okay? However, he has played so well. It's down to him. Of course, coaching, training, things like that really help. But ultimately, the reason that they are getting potentially up to 90 million pounds is because of him. He doesn't owe them anything now, okay? They are going to get an absolutely incredible amount of money with very little investment, okay? 5 million, 2 years later, 90 million. So I don't get the whole, how could you ditch your club? How could you do this? You've got a chance to join a club, whether it's Chelsea or Arsenal, but let's say it's Arsenal, who are currently top of the league. They're playing the best football in the league. They've got one of the most exciting projects going in football. They've got one of the best young managers in world football right now in Arteta, who seemingly really wants him. It's more than just money, but I think that's obviously a big part. I think that 90 million is an incredible amount of money. And, I'm hearing Arsenal making bids. We've had the Brighton manager saying that we want him to finish the season, but we're ready to go forward without him. Also, one thing, and I'm sorry that I'm kind of waffling. I like doing these videos where I just talk, but Caicedo got new agents recently. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. He found new agents, and I think many people, not just De Zerbi, believe that he was asked to release this statement. Apparently, this is not very him. This is not something you would have expected him to do. So De Zerbi, in a press conference, was saying, I think he's been influenced, and it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Agents are leeches. They really are. I've got nothing but respect for your hustle. If you're a football agent and You're throwing your clients around to different clubs for crazy money, and obviously they're making a lot of money with their own fees. I get it, and I can respect it, but it is pretty disgusting, especially if you're convincing a 21-year-old that's just effectively began his career, telling him to effectively end his current career at Brighton by putting out such a odd message. Let's face it, it's an odd one. Players don't talk like that. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing that we're going to get a bit more transparency with social media, but if that's not what he would have done, and the fact that they're egging him on, they're saying, look, if you want this big move so I can get paid, then make sure you post this, do this, and it's out of character, and that I'm not really a fan of. And since then, we've been waiting to hear if Arsenal will put in another bid. Apparently, Chelsea put in 55 million, rejected. Arsenal put in 60 million, rejected. But they said, publicly, it's very widely known that Arsenal were always going to come back in with another offer. Apparently, a new offer went in, I think it was yesterday, or potentially this morning, which is 65 million package. So it would be 60 million up front with 5 million in attainable add-ons. Apparently that got rejected straight away. Unless it was 70 million. Am I getting my bids mixed up here? Either way, Arsenal are really going for it. They want to sign him, but it's very clear that Brighton don't want to lose their man. You've got to wonder, is he really worth this kind of money? If we weren't willing to go all the way out for Mudryk, who, let's face it, he's going to be a star. We can all see it, okay? Are we willing to go all the way with this? You've got a 21-year-old that can clearly, and statistically it's proven, he can clearly play in a role that Arteta wants him to play in, a kind of a Rodri, Partey role. Statistically speaking, Caicedo is unreal for his age. It is. It's frightening how good he is. Is he worth, let's say they want 85 million? Do you pay that? Do you actually pay that for a 21-year-old that has had, and let's be really kind of fair here, he's only been at this kind of level he's at now this season and maybe a portion of last season. It's not like he's a 24-year-old that's had 2 or 3 seasons at the top level. It's still a risk, isn't it? He could absolutely crumble under the pressure. It's a lot of money. It really is a lot of money. But this is the latest update that I found. We did put in a 70 million offer, so I was getting my numbers mixed up. I think it was 70 million, 60 up front, 10 in add-ons, potentially. It was rejected, and that nothing's gone in today. So Caicedo wants to leave. He's put out the statement that his agents would have wanted him to do, and probably typed themselves. And it's very possible that Arsenal feel the exact same way, and they are going to come in with another bid. But part of me just thinks, okay, there's a lot of other players out there that I think could potentially be worthwhile going for instead, and saving this huge chunk of money and putting it into a Declan Rice, or whatever. Just quickly though, Brighton have brought in a young Swedish midfielder. I think it was, 6 million euros. So this is Yasin Ayari, young Swedish player, central midfielder. Why? It doesn't necessarily mean that they're potentially, planning ahead and knowing that Caicedo will leave. I think it's very clear that Caicedo will be leaving in the summer regardless. So whether he goes now or in the summer, they're going to need to bring someone in. So it's just planning ahead. But I thought it is interesting, isn't it, they've brought in a central midfielder. I think we should line up a bid for this guy, because clearly in a couple of years he's going to be worth 100 million. And to go back to my point, and I'm not saying that Conor Gallagher here is on the same level as Caicedo, but what I will say is, okay, we talk about English tax. We talk about young English players being worth a lot of money and added money because they're English. And if you didn't know, Premier League clubs have to have a certain amount of English players. So that adds a bit of value to a good English player. There's only so many good English players, okay? And if you're going to have some at your club, which is a rule, you might as well have good ones, right? So effectively, if you've got really good young English players, they do basically have a tax. They're just more expensive, right? If Conor Gallagher, I don't think this is going to happen, but reportedly 40 million, roughly 45 million plus add-ons, including add-ons, sorry. If that's going to get you a Conor Gallagher, who, again, you have to really think about this, okay? Conor Gallagher was incredible for Crystal Palace last season. He's come back to Chelsea, hasn't quite looked at that level, but maybe hasn't been given such a chance. He's maybe not playing in the same position, whatever it may be. If he's 45, let's say it went up to 50 million, is Caicedo genuinely almost twice the player as Conor Gallagher? Again, it's just an example. I'm just throwing it out there. This is the value of a young player who is similar age, similar ability, similar experience, and that's with the English tax. I think it's partly because Chelsea need to sell players. They brought in so many players. I hate them so much right now. And they are kind of in a position where clubs know that they're going to need to sell players to try and reel in some cash, because otherwise, I mean, they're surely breaching FFP, surely. So that puts them in a weaker position. But it's worth thinking, you know, Caicedo, 90 million, Tielemans for 15. It's very, very difficult, because what you get with Caicedo is potentially a future star. He's already at a very high level. Brighton operates so well as a club. They know what they're doing. They've brought in a great player. You know he's going to go on and do well. The question is this too much money? And I've got to be honest, you know, I like to talk about how real I am when it comes to footballing opinions. I don't like to sit on the fence. I don't like to have outlandish opinions just to get clicks. I don't think Caicedo is worth 80 to 90 million. There's no way. But if Arteta truly believes it, guys, something's just popped up. This can't be real. Arsenal approached Chelsea for Jorginho. What? Okay. Oh, I don't know, but this is just completely blindsided me. Jorginho. So, obviously, 6 months remaining in his contract. That's very public knowledge, and that he's going to be leaving. Jorginho. I don't know about that. Well, this video is about Caicedo, but one to watch out for, Jorginho. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave this video for now. Maybe we'll be back with a Jorginho special, but I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Thank you for watching, guys. Are Arsenal going to go for Caicedo? Are they going to go for Jorginho? Are they going to go in for a last-minute push on Tielemans? Is there going to be some random central midfielder from Uzbekistan that's going to surprise us? Who knows? It's possible we could have a new central midfielder turn up tomorrow that we've never even heard of, and he turns into a star. Who knows? Thank you for watching, guys. Back tomorrow with more, and the Wolfsburg career mode will be back on Wednesday.